Hey guys, Silver Bunny here, and I am back with a very exciting video today. I have I have fam. Yep, I do. I have family as well, but I actually have 5 camp locations today that you cannot just walk up to and place your camp down. So 4 of them I actually tried something different. There's been a location in the forest, and it's the first location we'll look at that I've wanted to build at since I ran into it 4 years ago. Like before I was even a builder. It's great locations, cool location, but for whatever reason you can't build there. And I've every update I go back and I check just to see if they opened it up. And I've tried to go from above, I've tried to go from under, and it's never worked. So I thought I'd go try since they stretched our height. And sure enough, I couldn't get it to when I went over top of it, but I went under it. So I used the same method to get above camp, like to get your camp in the sky. I used that same method on 4 of these locations, and I was able to get almost all of the location, enough of the location to build at. 2 of the locations I've already started to camp on. I have a little preview of those. The other 3 locations I have not. One location I was able to get to by just going up in the sky, over and down. I do have a little brief tutorial here in the beginning that I'll go through how I do it underground. You do it however suits you best, but it is pretty much the exact same thing as going in the sky, except for you just go underground and do the same thing. I have tried this in the past, but I've never had success with it until now. So I'm very, very excited for these locations. There are several locations that I've tried that haven't worked. So if you're thinking about trying a location, you can reach out and ask, and I can let you know if I've tried it or not. But I will tell you that the 2 trailers that are in Burning Springs will not work. Um, those were my first goes because I want to build in one of those trailers so badly. But they are very protected. So I couldn't get to either one of those, but I did get to 5 really cool spots. So let's go ahead and talk about how I got there, and then we'll go over the camps. Alright, so I didn't show how to get underground, so if you, I'm sure there's a video out there of how to do that, but I just grab a hold of that floor, hit X, and then I drop it down as far as it'll go down, and then I bring it back up a little bit till it's in the build zone. Then I go out of build mode and I just fall down on the floor. For me, this was the easiest. When I first started doing this, I was using the stairs, going down with the stairs like I do up, and it's a lot harder to place things underground. Doing this underground is a little more tricky because you cannot go into cam mode or build mode floating around because you just shoot up to the bottom of the ground. So you have to just stay like right here. So that does make it a little bit more tricky, and using the stairs was such a pain in the butt. So I did it this way, and it seems to work just fine. It's how I do it. So anyhow, once you get down to once you get down this low, I keep wanting to say this high, but once you get down this low, the lowest I went, I would try to go ahead and see if I could get closer to the location at this low. Some of the times I would have to go down further, but as you can see, this case I was able to go ahead and place it so that all I need to do from this point is to get over to the location. Now you might find for other locations you might get down to them and you're able to go over, and then it stops you, and at that point I would probably just call it's not going to work. But you could go down further and try to go under, because there may be like a circle or a point that has a sweet spot where it's not blocked for you to get into it. So I guess it just depends on how badly you want to get to that said location that you can't build at, or that you can't place your module at. This one does have a water table, and we'll talk more about this location when we get there. This is actually one of the locations that is in the video, but you probably couldn't do this if it was like somewhere that had a complete water table. I mean, you might be able to, because I guess we can place things in water now, but it probably wouldn't. I just don't think it would be possible, because you couldn't break the generator anyway. So yeah, no, it wouldn't be. I don't think you could do it if there was like a full water table. I don't actually get all the way to this location. I was going to show you guys how to get to the complete location, but I fall off here in a second. And I mean, it's just rinse and repeat. What you see me doing here is what you need to do until you get your circle in that spot. So, and there I go. I'm gone. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into these locations. And if you have any questions about this, feel free to ask them down in the comments. But yeah, let's get on to it. All right, so this is the location that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. It is by Vault 51. It's in the forest. Um, Everybody's going to know this location. So I have always wanted to build here, and I never really understood why we couldn't build here, but there are reasons I don't know, obviously. So this location, I was only able to get up about halfway underneath, and I thought, ugh, is it really worth it? Yeah, it's really worth it for me. So for me, there's enough junk up here that made me happy enough to just build at this location and put something underneath it and around it. I'm not actually done with this camp yet, but I do have a few shots of what I've gotten done so far. I am personally struggling with the inside because I can't place things on the wall as high as I'd like to. So I'm struggling finishing this one, but I will get it done. The enemies that spawn here, there's my camp, and I think it is 100% worth it. But anyway, the enemies that spawned here since I've been here have been just like random stuff that I think has came out of my module. There was some cultists there when I rolled up to film that. And I think this location is a lot like the one that was down from Fort Atlas. It depends on what spawns here, on what you get, because there was a couple beds there that I'd never seen there before. So just play around with this without your camp. If you decide to try to get your camp here, play around with this and see what you get there maybe before you place your camp there, just to see what you can have at your camp, which when I actually film this, I will do that because I know there's like NPCs that will spawn here. I have seen NPCs here before, so I do go into build mode here just to kind of show you how far up you can build, and it's not very far up, but you're able to, I mean, as you can see, I don't know if you've seen in the video, the clips previously, like, so things, it just depends on the hitbox of things, like the vines would go over the whole wall, and then I put the fences with the barbed wire just to put a little extra up there. So it depends on where the hitbox is and how big the hitbox is as far as where you can place it at. So but we're going to go ahead and get into this next location. Alright, so this location is just down from, eventually, there we go, Sandy Forks Lumber. And this location is actually part of the quest line. So I was a little surprised. My dog's shaking and doing all kinds of crazy shit behind me. I apologize. I was a little surprised that this works. So you actually can place your camp module pretty close to this in front of it. Well, I guess technically it's behind, but you can also place your camp module in that tunnel right there with the weird light coming through the mountain, which is super weird, but that's actually a cool spot too. So this is kind of like a double whammy here. So this one you have to go underground. The last one you also have to go underground. I can't remember if I said that or not. One of these you don't have to go underground. You can just go above it. But I will say that. Hopefully I'll remember. I will remember. I got this. But you could only get... This one I feel like, especially because it's on a fucking tow. It's like on a truck it's being towed. So I feel like this is really good considering it's on a tow, so it's already up off the ground, like a half of a foundation, a fourth of a foundation. So this is why I was saying before, your hitbox, like curtains, I could get them to place really high in that last location because their hitbox must be at the bottom of them. Like the boards here will go all the way up through the roof. So the hitbox again must be, I mean, that's way past the build zone. So some things will go a little past the build zone just depending on where their hitbox is. But I think this location would be super cool to build at, especially considering people come there all the time for the quest line. Well, not all the time. I mean, you only have to go there once, but everything is on, what are those things called? Platforms? Nope. Pallets. There we go. I found it. It was in there. So everything's sitting on pallets because they were obviously moving this house when things went south. So, um, but I mean, you can get up pretty high. I show a lot here, so we're just gonna kind of like shoot the shit, hang out, chill. I mean, I probably could have just showed a couple items, but I deleted a bunch of wavy willards. My dog is like literally can't sit still right now, bro. Yeah. Oh, and he's sneezing. Everything's happening right now. Well, at least the cat's not meowing, so we're winning. So here, I mean, there's a lot of some of this stuff I did place in there. That chair is not there, and the stuff on the wall. Well, that picture over there is on the wall. I probably should have deleted everything before I actually got the shots, but there is a lot of junk in here. There's a dead person in here. That's always fun to have in your house. I love dead people in my house. I don't know about you, but um, there's a lot going on here. This is an amazing location. I haven't started building here, but I'm thinking I might at some point, but we shall see. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the next location. All right, so this location is just up from Dino Peaks golf course, mini golf. So this is probably gonna be a fan favorite, I feel like. I literally have ran past this place probably a dozen times and didn't see it. Moon actually was like, "Hey, have you tried this place?" And I was like, "What place?" And I was like, "I've never even been here." So anyway, this is the one location that. Oh, let's talk about these boards real quick. So these boards are somewhat weird. If you touch them, they fall off. So if you decide to build here, keep that in mind. But if you fast travel away and come back, then they're hanging again. So I think you could probably put like walls there and keep them in place. Maybe while I'm thinking about it, keep that house back there in mind. We're going to talk about that house back there in a second. But this is the one location that I was able to get to not going underground. So I just placed my camp as close as I could, and I did the get in the sky going up and over and back down. So I was able to get the entirety of the cave. There is no restrictions. There's no can't place. There's this. So this you can get in completely in your circle by just going up in the air. So that's awesome. It's so much easier to do than going underground. So this cave is super cool. It's got a like Back to the Future car in it that looks like it shot flames out of the ass of it. I mean, this that location is super super cool. So I was curious about this location. You cannot get to this location. I did get to the tip of it and we broke into it to see what was inside, and it's creepy in here. Like we could see through a crack that there was something in there, and I was like, we got to get in there. So there must be something coming to this location at some point, because there's like a dead guy hanging in there, and there's a whole table and counters. I mean, they didn't put that in there for us to not see it at some point, so that's pretty cool. Um, but you can't get to the tippy top of it if you glitch your camp over top of it. I actually didn't try underneath for this location, so it's possible, but it is like stupid glitchy in there. I would not advise building in there. I wouldn't want to build in there. I mean, nothing stays. I mean, it's one thing if the walls don't stay, but like nothing stays. Your head doesn't even stay. So yeah, I wouldn't advise building there. But anyway, we're gonna get on to the next location. All right, so this location is over from Fort Stuben. Stupid. I don't know. It's close to there. So this is a cave. Coffee actually showed me this. Coffee King. He showed me this. He found it one day when I was at work, and there was a briefcase in here. So this is the one that I was trying to do in the beginning with the little quote unquote tutorial. So it does have a pond out here, I will say. We'll talk about that in a second. Enemies, enemies, enemies. I'll tell you what. I think them they're pigs. I think them they're fuckers. That's their home. So if you build here, you're gonna have them like all the time, I think. I don't know. I feel like they were coming out of there one time, and then one time I feel like, oh, I was supposed to delete one of those. Yeah, whatever. And then I feel like one time they were over off, but I think this is their watering hole. So I mean that just they're gonna be there. So as far as your build circle goes, this location is the hardest to get to. You have to go the furthest away. You have to come back over the furthest. So I think that you can possibly get the pond, some of that pond, probably not all of it, into your build circle, but it's helpful when you're doing this to have a friend. that can be up so they can go into build mode. They can try to go into build mode so you know if you're high enough or not. Because if you're not high enough and you could fall off or you get down and you can't get into build mode, then you got to start over. But this location for me was the most difficult because I couldn't tell exactly where I was placing it. And I think I just went too far back, and I can't go any further back and I can't see where my circle is back there. So I'm not sure if I could have came out more. I feel like I could have, but that also is a pretty big cave. So I think that you can get at least some of that pond in there. But if I hadn't fell off, I was going to try to see if I could get it figured out. But I did fall off, and I was like, I'm done with this location. I probably won't be building there because I don't want pigs in my house. But anyway, we're going to move on to the next location. All right, so this is the last location, and I saved the best for last. It is up from the railroad service yard, and when I tell you, I was so excited I was able to get my camp to place here. I was so excited to get my camp to place here. I've been to this location like 5 times, just running around my camp out trying to get it to place. This spot is sick as fuck. I love this location so much. It's so cool. I did go underground. It was easy to get underground. You can place it pretty freaking close, and then I think I only went down one time, but I'm not sure about that. I don't remember. I've tried this at so many locations, but there is so much in this little spot. I have a camp here that is pretty much completely done. I have a little bit of budget left. This video will be out this week. Um, but this location, I mean, look at it. It is a scrappy person's dream. I absolutely love this location. Enemies. Oh yeah, so there are some enemies that spawn over. It's usually every time I've been there, it's been blood bugs. No, boat flies or wolves. That's what's been there. Other than that, every once in a while, some ghouls came up, and there's what I did. Anyway, some ghouls came up and slapped the crap out of me while I was building. And I think that's about it. You know, I think Graham showed up at this location. So I think Graham might be in the new location. I'm pretty sure Graham showed up while I was building. I could be dreaming, and it could have been another camp another time, and I'm tripping, but I'm pretty sure Graham showed up. I don't know. I can sit here and think about it all day, and I'm not going to remember quite if he did or didn't. But anyway, so I wanted to say about this location too. You're going to get things like when you're trying to place things inside under that rock, and it's going to say it's out of the build zone. But it's not really out of the build zone. I have figured out, I think. Oh, and then here's your... So you can get to that top of that rock. Like, so this is perfect. But I think the reason that it sometimes says that you're out of the build mode is because it's trying to jump up, which things like to do in Fallout. And because jumping up makes it out of the build mode, it just doesn't place. The exception to that is the awning. I did place it underground and it jumped up. The downed satellites, I placed them underground and they did jump up. I was trying super hard to get a Jeep or a car to jump up on the top of that rock, but I just couldn't get it to do it. It would jump up in the house, it would jump up over beside the house, but it wouldn't jump up where I wanted it to. So you can get things to pop from underneath the ground that will pop up to the top, but that's not going to be something that you can just place up there. Those things you've seen up there are things that I got placed underground and they just jumped up. So this location was kind of a pain in the butt to build at, but it is so doable and it's not any different than what we dealt with before the revamp update. So that being said, those are my 5 locations that I use the sky camp method to get to. So I will link the tutorial for the sky camp down in the description, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And until next time, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you, and I'll see you.